What is good? What's going on YouTube? Everybody that is watching. Now my boy, I'm Jingle here. Go ahead and say what's up to the people real quick.
What's up, y'all?
So, the title of the video, you see what's gonna go down. Electric killing loadout. Just a tutorial, different situations. I will go over that. We're gonna showcase the artifacts, the gear mods, the affinity mods, the skill points, the stats, and the actual loadout. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into this real quick. First, for my gear, I got pretty much purple gear, for the most part 305 to 308, somewhere ranging in between for the most part. Luckily enough, it's pretty much future ordnance on the main man, things like that. But as you see, replenishing adapter, I go with the power one in the weapon because power gives you more. They're able to heal out rather than just the healer ones. The damage one's cool too, but power just in case if I don't have a troll to assist me. I use the pheromone bloom supercharge a lot, so I'll go ahead and put this in the head socket for that mod. Now, because I have the OP neck and healing is fairly, I can heal pretty efficiently even without the restoration in the next slot. I go ahead and put an escalating might for my damage side of things. But of course, most of y'all will have the restoration. Next part, okay, so the back side I have the accelerated flux just to keep putting them shields at all the time, man. Shields are amazing and useful. Chest rod, I got a power efficiency just because I am electric, so I can't tend to spam or look like I'm spamming. I'll get into it when I get to loadouts, what I do typically, but yeah, so just to be more power efficient, have that. Restorative overcharge, if you want to do like some kind of a hybrid build, a lot of people used to use overcharge back in the day, but I can't make a video like overcharge is not a good power, but just to have something in the slot. Tumbling Master for my feet side, that's what I use, just get them dodges, man. Don't want to be interrupted and I want to get further. And I use max damage once again, because I have the Time Hunter OP hands, of course not fully maxed out. But since I do care about my damage side as well, I just go ahead and just leave it as that. The hand socket you would want to use is the restorative shield one. That's just my little 2 cents for you. Now on to my affinity mods. Typically I go with the power one first just because it can help out, more power the merrier. The restoration one is the next one I use for the type B, just because healing. Type C, the healing conservation. My apologies, y'all. That is right here. And the way, once again, when we get to the loadout, you'll see why the priority heal means a lot. And getting that cooldown for 15 seconds after you use priority heal is major when you do get the Type C mod. And Type D is pretty much your heal over time for the most part. It's like Electrogenesis. So it's just nice to have that intrinsically on you pretty much at all times. So, yeah. For the trinkets, orbital, back up the trench ones, like I made that video about the trench ones. Supply drop, your choice. Orbital, your choice. Excuse me. Sometimes I like to use the Zeus one just because it's electric, goes in theme. And then some type of tier 3 or tier 2, whatever the best tier you can get. Pet, I use some other box just because it actually dropped for me. So, yeah. The main artifacts, okay? Main artifacts I tend to use are the Page of Destiny, Eye of Gemini, and the Scrap of the Soul Cloak, okay? Those are my main three for my main, EOG, which is Eye of Gemini. Spam Loadout is my main one at the moment. So these are 3 artifacts I tend to run. Now, later on, there'll be another loadout that will use the Purple Healing Ray, which I highly suggest y'all go ahead and get. Especially if you have power troubles and things of that nature, I will say, I'll just put it that way. If you need more priority heal, some type of shielding, or the heal over time, which is great for electric with the group heal. Either way, it's amazing. Now my stats, I tend to have about 75,000 restoration. That's just how I am right now. Well, 75 is some change. I see my health pretty high. Ooh, 1,000, that's a lot. Almost at 164 power. My dominance, just because I have the OP items on, is about 4,337. So it is what it is. Actually, my CR is 350. So let's go ahead and get over to the allies actually. Allies, if you watch my ally video, I tend to use Cyborg for the damage of it just because he does the most damage out of any ally. Batman Who Laughs is at my support ally slot number one. He's just too good there, okay? All the benefits, the crits, the might, the power, the resto, whatever the case may be, it's just too amazing. So I keep him there. And then me personally, I like to use Nubia, just because after executing a block counter, heal yourself and nearby allies for a percentage HP. I find myself and tend to see myself in combat a lot of the time by doing the this right here, the little flurry shot with the dual wield. I tend to see I tend to find myself doing a lot of block counters, so I'm gonna take advantage of that and what I notice by going and get healing myself and other allies. Alright, for my weapons, as you saw, I do have the dual wield with mastery. For the most part, I like to spec in my mastery, and then for everything else, I like to have a skill point in it just to have access to the weapon. Um, just because I like to collect all the different weapon styles. So when I do go to different weapons and things of that nature, okay, I'm able to access some styles with how things drop in DC. Now, do not pay attention to a lot of the excess skill points that I have already put on these, like Tornado Pool. You don't need that. Phase dodge, you don't need that. Dash attack, it's up to you, but you don't really need that. Um, really, just get your Speed Force or your Supersonic or whatever the case may be. Get your little one that lets you go faster in your movement. If you have the skill points to spend, I recommend that you do get the recoveries and the mastery, the breakout mastery, because it is nice, especially if you don't have a troll or the troll's not doing well or he might be dead, whatever the case may be. Getting these little bit of resistances adds up. Plus, when you do break out, you do get some power back, which allows you to use another move. Potentially for me in the healing situation, allows me to heal myself and or other group members. So, especially with the new concept, that Doom Raid, this will help a lot in there. I do recommend you get metabolic boost if you want to do just more healing, keep yourself alive, and just moving around. If you want to do more damage, get some speed drain as well for your EOG spamming. Do not get dash attack because it will make you lunge forward and go into the enemies. Alright, for iconics, once again, do not mind all this excess spending that I've got going on, okay? For the most part, you just want Pheromone Bloom. Everything else is completely optional. Some people like Mesmerizing Lasso or Amazon Deflection, even in the healer stance, just because of what it can do, depending on the situation, different elite raids or things of that nature, okay? Let's say you're the healer and you got a good amount of dominance stacked up, whatever, you can Mesmerize Lasso, pull some ads or whatever the case may be. Amazon Deflection, a lot of groups use it when they're trying to figure out different things or different kind of content. Clown Box, you do definitely know how to use that. It's just something I was playing around with. Okay, for my skill, for my stat points, my skill points. I go super powered for the extra power generation and extra power. You're more than welcome to go hybrid, but just to note, you will have to do a lot of weapon attacks to get the same kind of power generation you would get with your super powered. And sometimes, especially in like more elite content or mechanic heavy content, you won't be able to attack as much. So it's always great just to have the extra power generation. Just call it a day at that. And you'll still get some power generation with your weapons, but you know, it is what it is pretty much. Now, the main thing you want to focus as a healer is getting your crit, critical healing chance, critical magnitude, maxing those out, and maxing your restoration up, right? Now, I highly recommend you at least put 1 point in dominance, grab that 80 real quick. A lot of times you put 1 point in light as well, grab that 45 real quick. It does help on your weapon. It's slightly noticeable, but not by much. Of course, grab the 400 health, with specking in 1 into these. If you just put 1 in, you do get that base, which is that first top number you see, so the 100 precision, 160 weaponization rating, 400 health, 80 dominance, 45 vitalization. For me, after I've put the ones into majority of this, I don't have any fight right now. Just kind of messed up my skill points, so it's all good. Um, but once I have my main stuff, my critical healing chance magnitude, and my resto, me because I do some amount of damage and whatnot, I'll go ahead and get my critical hit chance and damage, and just pretty much dump the rest, which ends up being 100 in this case, into mind power, just because I know I'm gonna try to keep hitting that up till it maxes out. But man, Jingo over here trying to show up, man. Alright,
Yes,
so this is
Jingle
my
Bubbles.
normal. People saw you, by the way. This is my normal Aya Gemini EOG, as y'all want to call it, spamming healing loadout. Of course, I'm gonna have that galvanized, okay? Amazing heal. Sometimes people don't realize how good it actually is until you take it out of your loadout, which I've done plenty of times. I thought galvanized didn't do that much, I ended up taking it out later on. Then realize how useful and pretty much how great it actually is. Biology search, priority heal, pretty much always gonna be a staple. Keep it in your loadout for the most part at all times. Recover is a group heal, pretty much a staple, especially with the artifact. Since it is classified as a group heal, let's go over to our artifact real quick. Now, our page destiny we got right here, okay? See, it does affect the group heal. It's a group heal enhancing artifact. We're able to heal people for more, 20%, more for people who are below 40% health. We're able to do a little bio cap. I guess a look-alike mechanic, if you will, and it heals 2 additional people. So instead of healing me and 3 others, 4 in total, it will heal 6 in total. It will heal me and 5 others. Okay, so that's why I keep recovering the loadout pretty much at all times. And you, for the most part, you will want to pretty much spam it every time it comes off cooldown. Go ahead and hit it, even if the group is maxed, just because with the mechanic of that artifact, it does have a 10-second cooldown. No, hold on. Yeah, I think it's a 30-second cooldown if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 30 seconds. You're able to get 10 stacks. So to get that full 30%, you want to go ahead and hit it every 3 seconds since it's a 3-second cooldown. My apologies, y'all. Then of course Flux, that's why we got our back mod for it. Keep it going, keep pushing. Then me, I like to do damage. Pheromone Bloom on average hits a whole lot harder than Speed Drain, but Speed Drain, technically if everything actually crits, it's able to go past Pheromone Bloom if it doesn't crit. So yeah, for the most part, Pheromone Bloom all the way, and then I just have Speed Drain in there, just do extra damage. Little cheaper, 2,500 supercharge cost, and yeah. So, for the most part, like I said, when I get to loadouts, this is how I heal. For the most part, my priority heal, this one right here, Violent Surge, I clip it with mostly everything, just because I tend to see with electric, a lot of times you'll hit one move like Galvanize, and somebody on your team may get hit again, and need more healing and things of that nature. So I go ahead and just get in the habit of just always clipping it in there before or after, depending on what I'm trying to do. Say if I'm trying to hit Galvanize here, most of the time I'll just go ahead and hit the Galvanize then that, just because the Galvanize builds as it heals more and more people. So just in case you're not getting in the way of Galvanize building up and healing the max amount it can do, you go ahead and do it that way. Now when it comes to like casting your shield, you can just cast your shield and clip it with the priority heal, just to make sure you're healing everybody and stay on top of that. And casting your shield out real quick so you're not stuck in any kind of animation. So let's just keep it at that, especially during certain mechanics where you do have to block. Let's just do that and then let you block right after. Okay, it's one of the shortest animation cooldown, if you want to call it that, there is in the game, especially for healer power. So why not take advantage of it? Because you can definitely use your orbital and clip it with the priority heal. Use your trinket, clip it like a little trinket tech, priority heal, fire drop, priority heal, backup, priority heal. Call Cyborg a priority heal, you know what I mean? You're able to clip everything for the most part. You can drink a soda priority heal, who knows? Because soda does give you a buff too. Those are the kind of buffs you're looking at, especially with healer roll. I give 5% of the group, an additional 5% more health to the group. Okay, so I'm a healer roll when I drink my soldier gold. So the other loadout, if you're not trying to do gem spam, which I know there's plenty of people that don't like to, I have it saved on my damage side just to know and let y'all see what that looks like. So, for the most part, yes, I use Electro Burst. This move is kind of up to y'all. I will keep it like that. Because if you use Electro Burst, a lot of times it keeps you in the animation of the actual like stomp kick in front of you. Let me go ahead and show you that animation real quick. A lot of times it keeps you in the animation. You're not able to block until after the animation is fully done, and then like I think like a half a second or a second once it is fully done. So to keep out of that, just use your RDO to clip out. If you're not able to because of power restraints or whatever the case may be like that, just be cautious when you use it because you might not be able to block right after, at least for a little bit of time. I would stray away from using arc lightning personally, just because more likely than not, it will not actually heal the people you are intending for it to heal, on top of the fact that it will not connect at times depending on where you are at. Sometimes you may think you're about to hit a boss or an ad or whatever, and sometimes it just doesn't go, so you end up just healing yourself and yourself alone. But if you're playing in like close quarters combat, yeah, it's always a good thing to have, of course, because more likely you're gonna hit. Then you probably change that out for Electro Burst. I would keep everything else pretty much the same, because with those four that were on the EOG spam loadout, you pretty much should keep the group up to full, as long as your power is you're not completely ugly spam. Let's put it like that. Biocapacitor would be a great thing to put here, even instead of Electro Burst. But the thing with Biocap, the cooldown is incredibly too long, and the power cost is high. But the heal that you do get from it is amazing. Okay, you're pretty much this is gonna, for the most part, put your group like up there to max, if not like 90% of their health, healed in this one move. It's a very powerful move that heals your entire group, as you see yourself and up to 7 injured group members. So it is very good in that capacity. It does give you the OG Page Destiny, people like to say now, but it was a biocap effect where if you're anyone in your group or yourself lost below 45%, it used to be like 30% or 35 in the finisher range. Then it will basically shoot your health back up. It will just give you more health. So it's like a 2-in-1. So that's why the power costs so much. Plus it heals the entire group too. It's very good. It's just very slow. And a lot of times when you're looking to use it again, more likely than not, it's on cooldown. So that's why I went ahead and went with Electro Burst, because it's 6 cooldown. It's a third of the cooldown, and it definitely heals you and up to 7 group members. It is a strong heal, but this is a great heal with Biocap. So Electro Burst, it's like Biocap Junior without the extra healing effect when someone falls below a certain percentage. Other than that, I haven't drained those heal that much anymore. You're gonna get like 20s and 30s for the most part out of that. And there's no real other ones. So Electrogenesis. Electrogenesis can be a good move to use if you're doing like an alert or something where you're very close quarters. So maybe like a FOS 3 run or things of that nature. You might be able to pull that off there. But for the most part, I would just stick with this loadout if you are struggling with utilizing the EOG spamming loadout, okay? And let's say you are getting stunned a lot, just go ahead and put in Metabolic Boost, since it does free you from control effects and restore your health over time. Just make sure that you are up at all times and you're staying out of them control effects, okay? But for the most part, that's about all I got for the video. Make sure you haven't already subscribed, man. Like the video if you rockin' with me, support me, you see what I'm doing. We did just hit over 105 subscribers not too long ago, I think like 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Look, I appreciate everyone for the love and support that y'all are giving. Y'all are amazing community, amazing people. Look, stay tuned for a lot of other videos I got going on. All the damaging videos. Really, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Mechanics, elite raids, and run-throughs of things. Just everything under the sun, really. Information videos, everything. But before we go, man, Jim, you got anything to say, man?
I like glizzies.
Oh, my goodness. This man. Without further ado, man, it's your boy Trey TJ, man, and we are out. Shalom.